Hello and welcome to our second Thanksgiving themed episode where we're going to do my gluten-free stuffing. Now you can do this regular or gluten-free. I'm using these here Udi's French baguettes, and these taste real good, but you can easily sub it out for a real baguette, a French baguette made out of the good old-fashioned wheat. But I got my allergies but this will be also our first recipe where we actually use proper measurements. This one here we can't necessarily eyeball it. So what we're going to do, now this time around I'm actually doubling my recipe, but I'll have the actual recipe up for you. Well, what we're going to start with is we need 18 cups of bread chunks, I suppose you'd say. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and grab this here baguette, and I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to start cutting it up into pieces like so. I'm going to go down the length there and there. So we have 3 that way. Put that back here. And now I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to try to... Now I should mention, you want to make these little bread chunks as small as you can. You don't want to have gigantic chunks in your stuffing. Makes it a little bit weird. So we're just going to go on ahead, do this here. And then again, I'm going to try to get about 3 or 4, well, probably end up being about 3 strips down, like so. It's starting to break apart a little bit, but that's fine. Go ahead. Now, you want to be careful because you don't want to lose a finger. Right down through, like that. And now, we got it all together like that. I'm going to go ahead here and start cutting down in small chunks crosswise. Like so. Now, once we let these sit overnight, they're going to shrink a little bit when they dry out. But they, there we go. I'll finish up this baguette here, and then I'll go ahead and show you what the one baguette does in our measuring cup. Now remember, we need 9 cups twice, so that's 18 cups of bread. With any luck at all, I got enough. Now I'm going to take my handy dandy measuring cup, put these in here. And you want to kind of pack it in there. There. So that one baguette gave us about 3 cups. So that means we're going to need 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. We're going to need 6 baguettes. So now, over here, I got my bin. I'm just going to go ahead and dump these in here. And I'm going to grab another baguette. Now, once I have everything all cut up and in the bin, I'll go ahead and bring you back for a moment. But until then, we'll see you in a moment. welcome back. Now, for our stuffing here, I ended up abandoning our measuring cup because some of these here baguettes was a bit on the hollow side, not much in them, so I went ahead and went by the weight. Now our recipe calls for 24 ounces. I'm doubling it, so this here is 48 ounces of our bread. Now I'm pushing it down here. Our next step is going to be to leave it out and expose to the air so it can dry up a bit. I'm going to go ahead and leave this out on the table overnight, and I'll bring you back in the morning when we go ahead and start doing the next step. But oh, the train's coming. Anyway, I'll see you in a moment. Toodaloo. Welcome back. Now we're on to the next step for our stuffing. We've had our stuffing out overnight now. In this here gigantic tub pan, I got 4 sticks of butter. Let's see, what do we got? 3 sticks of butter. The recipe here calls for 3/4 cup of butter for one batch. I'm doing a double batch, so that's 3/4 cup twice, which is 3 sticks of butter. So now, for this recipe here, we got our handy dandy celery, youngin, already chopped, whole thyme leaves, garlic, and granulated garlic. Granulated garlic, oregano, and whole thyme leaves. So now, what we're going to do, according to the recipe, we're going to go on ahead and we're going to put this on medium heat, and we're going to get the butter melted. And then from there, we're going to put in our youngins and all of that stuff. Get it all nice and translucent and, you know, cooked up right and proper. And then we're going to go on ahead and put in our spices and then our bread. So let's see here, let's get our pan over here. Bring our camera right over here. Then of course we got to have our light. Got to trade our position here. Get the light over here so we can use it. Okay. Now we got that on medium. We can see down in. Butter's already starting to melt a little bit. Once that's fully melted, I'm going to go on ahead and put in all my vegetables here. But since we don't want to spend all time just here watching, I'm going to go on ahead and pause it here and bring you back. Okay, now let's take a gander inside. You can see it's pretty well melted. So I'm going to go on ahead now and start dumping in our vegetables. Got to have our youngins and our celery. There's the first box of our celery. Boy, sometimes it's real hard to get into these little packages. Kind of tricky getting into it. Come on now. Open Saskatchewan. There we go. That right in now. Like so. Now we got our youngins here. Get that right open now. Dump them in there. And then the other youngins, now put them in there too. Because the recipe calls for 2 youngins. This is about 2 youngins. Well, 1 youngin per batch, but since we're doubling it, we're doing 2. And now, once we get these all nice and cooked up, our next step is going to be to go ahead and put in our spices and then our turkey broth. Now, I done forgot to take the turkey broth out the freezer last night. So, we're going to put it in a little hard. And then once it melts, then we'll start putting the other stuff in. Now, the recipe traditionally calls you put your bread in, you drizzle the broth over it. But what I'm going to do is a little bit different, is I'm going to slowly put my breadcrumbs and stuff in there, into the mix. And then mix it up and get it all nice and wet. And we're just going to ease it in. We're going to let that cook for a little bit on its own. But while we're doing that, I really like the Bonafide here. This is my favorite brand. This here's the turkey broth. I'm going to put 2 of these in there. Our recipe calls for 2 cups of broth. Now, this is going to be our doubled recipe, so that means we're going to put both of these in there. Now we're going to have a bit of a wetter stuffing. I kind of like it wet. Don't want it too dry, don't want it too wet, but you know. See how we're doing now. Starting to look pretty nice. Get that all stirred up. Now, let's take a look at our spices. Gotta grab our handy dandy measuring instrument. This here is our full teaspoon with a half a teaspoon. There you go. Leaves. Okay, so what I'm going to do is it calls for 1.5 teaspoons of our whole thyme leaves. So I'm going to go on ahead, see if we can get this on camera with this bit awkward position in here. Get our camera situated, at least somewhat. And now I'm going to go ahead and dip. This is our full teaspoon. Dip that in there. See? 1 full teaspoon. Dump that right in, y'all. This is our half a teaspoon of thyme. Go ahead and get that situated. Put that now. Now remember, since we're doubling, we got to do it twice. So now we're going to do our second full teaspoon here. Put that now. And our second half, going to go on ahead here. There we go. And that takes care of our whole thyme leaves. So next up on our list, garlic powder. Now this calls for half a teaspoon of a garlic powder, but instead of doing the half twice, we're just going to do the 1, because a half and a half is a 1. In case you didn't know. So now, go on ahead now. Gonna ever so carefully. Oh, there's 1. And then and 2. Because you know we like our garlic. Now the next part of our thing calls for half a teaspoon of oregano. So I'm going to go ahead and do half a teaspoon of oregano twice. Because, you know, I weren't thinking with the other. There's a half. And there's the other half. There. Now I'm going to mix that all up nice and rightly. Giving you a shot of my arm, I suppose. Get that over here. That's starting to look nice and pretty down in there. Give you a look inside of her. See that nice and purtiful? Now, next step is to consult the recipe again. Take a look, see what we gotta do now. Need a teaspoon of salt. Now, I'm just gonna go ahead and eyeball it. I'm gonna say about 25 cranks on the good old whatchamacallit. Mix that all up nicely. That's starting to smell right nice. Get that all nice and mixed it up there. Okay, let's see. Now, consult the recipe again. This is where we're going to deviate from the recipe a bit. Seeing as I forgot to take the juice out the whatchamacallit, I'm going to go on ahead and cut her open here. And we're going to dump our frozen broth in there, and it ain't going to be frozen for too long. There. Come on now. Yeah. Hey, come on now. Gonna get myself a damn paper cut with this here. If you can't see, I'm kind of struggling with this thing here. It's not being very friendly. There. So we're just going to cut right down into her, I guess. Trying to get the bloody thing open can be kind of tricky sometimes. Yeah, gotta love our technical difficulties here. Trying to get the thing open. Let's see if we can get it in. Hey! Well, we got it in. Now, for the other one, see if we can get that one in too. But I'll bring you back in a moment. Well, it's been a minute and I'm still struggling with this thing. It's not easy to get into it when she's frozen. Yeah, as the kids would say, the struggle's real. Oh, there we go, she's coming. There we go, we got her to come out. Okay, now, unfortunately, we gotta get this to thaw out, so when you start getting a little older, your mind starts going, you know. 30 years old with a damn mind like I'm 100. But I'll go ahead and bring you back when that gets melted and nicely, and we can start putting the breadcrumbs in. Until then, we'll see you in a moment. Well, things are starting to come together, I suppose. Starting to look kind of soupy. Big balls of ice have kind of shrunk a bit. But I'm going to go on ahead and start mixing in our breadcrumbs in a little bit. But just goes to show you, you go forgetting stuff, and then stuff starts going wrong a little bit here now. But ideally, what you'd do is you'd have your butter and everything in the bottom here. You'd put your bread in there, and you'd drizzle all this water over the top of it. And it'd get your stuffing all nice and wet and stick here and all that, and then we can go from there. But due to technical difficulties here, you know, we're having some trouble, but I'm just going to give it another moment, and then I'll go ahead and bring us bread over. Okay, now I've repositioned the camera, and I'm going to go ahead and start mixing in some of these here breads. As we can see here, we got our big thing of here. I'm just going to slowly start putting bread in here. Got a bit of bread in there. Set that here. And we're gonna mix that all up nicely. Gonna put some more in there. You don't want to go too quickly, too suddenly. You want to get your breadcrumbs all nice and mixed in here. That didn't work out too well. Damn. Just my luck. Well, as you can see, this is definitely not going according to plan. But, yeah, we'll get there, I suppose. Get all the stuff in there. Well, I suppose at least we got a lot of it in there. Could be worse. We only lost a bunch of it. Yay! Yeah. I suppose at least this is just dried bread. But, yeah. You want to get your stuffing all nice and mixed up together here. At this point, our stuffing has absorbed a lot of the moisture. Now, I'll go ahead and give you a look. It's a bit disheartening, but you know, we got it all put together. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off, and we're going to put it into our baking pan. But first, you know, bit of cleanup work first, so I'll bring you back once we get this taken care of. Okay, now we got our stuff all cleaned up now. What you're going to want to do now is you want to get you a nice pan, a nice deep pan, kind of like this here. And I'm going to go ahead, the recipe calls for you to grease the pan, you know, and butter, whatever, but I like using olive oil. So just go on ahead, put a nice olive oil down the bottom there. Get it all nice and olive oiled up. Swirl it around a bit. Get all the nookses and crannies. Okay. Now, since we don't want to make the same stupid mistake we made before, we're going to slowly spoon it right on in, like we should have done before. See if we can get our camera situated here so we can show you. Gonna go on ahead, take a nice scoop of this, put it right in here. A nice scoop of this and put it in there. And I'm just gonna go ahead and fill all the corners and get this all filled out. Now, since this is going to take a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead for you. Bring you back once we get it all nice and packed in there. Okay, now we got all the stuff in here. Now you want to go ahead and press this into the pan nicely. When you pack it in there, it'll make sure your texture's real nice, nothing too lumpy. Make sure it's nicely packed in there. Thusly. Yeah, all nice and plentiful. Now our next step is to put it in the oven. So you're going to go on ahead and set your oven to 350 degrees for about 35 to 45 minutes. And that's Fahrenheit. So 350. Set it to 350. Now we're going to go on ahead, situate our camera here. L. Okay, going to go on ahead and grab our pan here, put it in the oven, and we're going to let it go for our 35 to 45 minutes, and I'm going to go on ahead and bring you back once it's done. Well, we just took our stuffing out the oven, and now it's all done. This here is the final product. It's looking real good. But we'll go ahead and leave this one off. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.